sound.
Yeah.
Sure.
And welcome back to
starting.
this week's Jockcast. Yeah, we're starting. Just
Here we
firing.
go.
Getting right
Wow.
into it.
You just kind of jumped right into that.
I know, but why not? We just sit here and shoot the shit anyways, so it doesn't really matter. Yeah, so, Jim, we're going to jump. You had a story that you're dying to tell us about what you saw with outdoors last year.
So,
I guess it kind of goes with our conversation
Oh,
we
yeah.
ended with last week, where we're just like doom and gloom, the sky's falling, because I don't know what happened to us. Maybe we got stoned. I don't know.
Well, it was all theory last
like it.
week.
Yeah.
You know, it was just an idea, like,
It
this is
was
going to happen.
Educated theory.
And then I watched it happen. You know, I'm in a room, and I see outdoor pounds, 1,500 of them go for $25 a pound. And I thought, oh my God, I thought this was way out, like, if it was going to happen. So it's one of those farms that closed, and they're going back east for the whole...
$37,500 is what he got for 1,500 pounds.
Last
Yeah.
year's.
of last year's.
I mean, year-old weed.
$25 a
What
pound.
else are you gonna do with it?
Now, I will say, I got
Was it going for blasting?
Yeah, I got to qualify this, because
I thought you said earlier that I was going to the store, retail.
I thought it was at first. I messaged the guy. They're going to turn around because they have their own company. Still, you know, it is untrimmed. They did just cut it off, you know, and hustle it into a. It's not like you had to pay your trimmers and all that, but still, $25 a pound.
Sounds like some shitty ass distillate pentops coming.
I know. I could taste the watermelon on the future, you know, coming. Like, you know, it's going to end up in
pina
a cart.
colada.
Yeah, so it's like you're not even growing. You're not even growing your strain. Who cares what you grow?
Yeah.
I would just get a bunch of frost bosses.
Yeah.
You know, for real, grow
You're
our
gonna make
hash
distillate
plant.
out of it.
Yeah, it's like this is going to become isolate. This is going to become distillate. I'm not shooting to have terps. Someone else is going to make them. Like, no, it is. Someone has to be the
Grow the biggest
Mako,
plants you can.
the Mako of cannabis. You know, like the Earl Scheib. Like, I'll fix that dent for $100. You know, there's always going to be that $5 pizza, but there can only be a couple. And do you really want to fight that?
$25 a pound, though. So they're closing down shop,
Yeah.
that farm?
Yeah, they're done.
Yeah, $25 a pound. I think that's your give-up price,
That's
right?
what I'm hoping, right? Like, but okay, so then about 4 days later, I got hit up on a deal that it was a legitimate $50 a pound. And in that situation, and they're not closing. In that situation, I'm just kind of waiting to see if they take it, because 2 weeks ago people were getting $250.
What happened? They opened up the gates and they said, hey, we're actually buying something. And
Yeah.
the market's already
Well-
eaten itself and raced to the bottom that quick.
You remember this time? This is what I was predicting with a friend, because it's like every year there's that August lurch, the drought in weed. You remember that?
Yeah.
Yeah, how like if you were smart, you stocked up in July.
No, you got your ounces at the beginning of summer.
Yeah,
And you sat on it because you knew it was going to be worth twice in about 3 months.
right.
Yeah.
And so that's why I think these people, because I haven't seen the extract companies come right out and say, you know, they're always kind of behind the scenes. Now it's like, I'm getting hit up. Do you know where we can find stuff? Do you know? I mean, they're out of material, even at that price.
Somebody asked me
Yeah.
to find
Well, yeah,
them,
that's how we
to source them stuff.
Yeah.
And I'm like, I don't have anything. I don't, you know.
Right.
And
I knew some farms that were really hurting, and I thought, hey, you know, if it'll help them get by, or, you know, 'cause it's a weird place to be where you're like, you know the number.
Yeah.
And you hurt, you know, you're like, man, I know what that, I can't imagine. But it, you know, at this
Sucks.
point, it's just basically either you have money or you don't. You know.
Well, right into another happy conversation today.
Well, if you didn't know it was going to be like this 2 years ago, then you weren't paying attention.
I think 90% of the people didn't.
Oh, sure, but they weren't paying attention. They were just big eyes, dreams, and wheelbarrows
Yeah.
are coming, and
Yeah.
they just, of course, it didn't pan out that way. Why would it?
No, and 2 years ago, if you weren't perceptive, because everybody was balling, remember that? Everybody had money.
Yeah.
We went to some pretty lavish parties.
Yeah.
Yeah, and people had like, you know, your 20 grand dab rigs, and
Yeah.
I'm not seeing
Should
that.
have put that money into the business.
Right. Well, I don't think anybody predicted that this would happen. Like, like I said, they didn't look forward. Now I know a lot of people that did, and they're doing fine. But I don't know. It becomes like the Titanic. Like, do you feel bad for the people as you're getting on your lifeboat, and they're on the deck? It's like, oh my God, this is happening.
You feel bad for some of them.
Some
The people with good intentions,
Yeah.
doing it for the right reasons,
Oh, yeah.
that have been a part of the scene for a while,
right.
and do, as far as I'm concerned, deserve a seat at the table. But I would say 90% of the seats at that table are taken up. And I think I kind of touched on it last week, but I'll say it again. There's two different types of things happening in this industry. Either you are a farm that has a market and you know where you're selling your stuff and you're doing okay, or you're investors that are trying to build a portfolio to sell the dream
Right.
of owning a cannabis farm, and you're making your money off of investment dollars to keep things going. Anybody that's successful falls into one of those two camps, right?
Yeah.
Like,
Yeah.
so what do?
Yeah.
You lose.
Yeah. It is weird. And it's weird to see how I am glad about this. I am seeing that as this iceberg shrinks and everybody shuffles to stay on, we step on each other's toes sometimes. But I'm seeing the people that really did the work, that really gave to the community, the good people, they are getting taken care of. I am seeing some moves.
There's a handful of them.
Yeah, where someone just needed that win, and they got it.
Yeah.
Even though it may have been an unpopular decision, that person was an OG. In one case, I'm thinking of, that person was open, like you, with a dispensary before it was legal because of their conviction, and stood there and said, come get me, and lived with that. That person needed a win, and they got it this week. Even though it created some riffles, it caused some problems. It's all been taken, you know what I mean, how people, what about me, this person needed that. It was good to see.
I've never said what about me. My shit's in the fucking toilet.
Yeah.
I think there's a lot more people out there. It is good to see those people get a win sometimes.
Yeah.
It is good.
It kind of made my week.
But then, a lot of us do this because we can't do anything else.
Right.
That's why we started doing this.
Yeah.
We didn't have the mental fortitude, or we were disabled.
For me, it was a physical problem with health.
Yeah.
I can't go work in a body shop anymore.
I'm disabled.
Yeah.
But I'm not
out.
I'm not disabled on the in the government's eyes.
Right.
But with my panic and anxiety and stuff, I can't go manage people anymore.
Right.
I can't go stand behind a counter. I can't do
Right.
Can't do it. I'll lose my job because I'll freak out.
Yep.
And going and hiding in your office for 2 hours while you're dealing with a panic attack is not allowed.
Not looked on good. Yeah.
No.
Yeah. Well, I can't even imagine in my old world. I get laughed at.
Yeah.
Very harsh.
Yeah.
But,
interesting.
And then I know people that still have to do that. That's hard.
Yeah.
Anyway.
So we're going to IndoExpo next week.
Next week we'll
It's
be there.
official?
Yeah, we're gonna go on Saturday, I think.
We'll be there Saturday.
What time does that start?
They said we could have a room to do our show from, so they better have some dank ass Wi-Fi.
Yeah.
You want to try to do it live?
Yeah,
Sure.
I think so.
Ooh.
The show,
Speaking of which.
the show is Friday, Saturday, Sunday, and I think we'll just go and show up on Saturday. I got some people that I know that are going to be there. Jim's got some people he knows are going to be there, so I'd like to just kind of talk to the people that I respect that are going to be there, and try to get some time with each of them, and maybe do that live, and then that'll give us a few shorter episodes, maybe 15, 20-minute interviews with these people, so we can have shorter form. I think one of our issues right now is that somebody clicks on one of our videos and it's always an hour minimum.
Right.
And I think people have a hard time sitting and listening to something for that long. We are doing SoundCloud now, so you can put it on in the background and listen to that if you want to hear our stupid asses. But
And you do.
But I think a shorter form segment that we do too would probably be good.
Yeah.
Also, I think I'm going to start uploading just some thought videos, where like, you know, because I've always got the equipment sitting here, and you know, it's kind of an effort to get everybody here and do this. But while I'm sitting here doing my thing, maybe I can just record some videos of me gaming and talking about the industry or something, and or maybe I can do some videos about some educational videos about how to clone, let's say, and kill all of your clones because you're really bad at it, or how to spray for spider mites and have your room completely be infested with spider mites after you treat them every 3 days.
What?
Yeah,
That happens?
I mean, I have spider mites. Yeah.
Oh.
Can you get a video looking through your microscope? Of
I can get a video.
Swimming in the
throwing gang signs and hating me.
Loving life.
I
think
Thanks for putting a swimming pool on our lead.
So many like bottled sprays, they've got very specific instructions on them.
Yeah.
I make it a very serious point to follow those to a T. I have used Big Time Exterminator. I have used Green Cleaner. I have used Trifecta. I have used Organicide. I have used not Guardian. What's that bottle I got from those guys? That little one? Mercenary. And I ain't dogging your products. They probably work for somebody.
I think you have special forces.
The spider mites I have, like, do not give a fuck. And I am rotating these products. I am using them every 3 days. Granted, my room is running a little hot right now because we live in fucking the sun at the moment.
New desert, apparently.
But not that hot though. Always under 90 degrees. It's not like it's crazy in there.
Yeah.
And visibly, I'm shaking. Like,
well, this is the third round.
I cannot. I have been treating them every 3 days for 2 weeks with different things, mixing it up. So just like trying to sneak them, I grab each plant, I spray each leaf with fucking conviction. Like, I'm hitting everything. I am using the room cleaner from Dr. Zymes to get my whole room and everything washed down. I am not bringing anything in or out of that. It just, fuck me. I don't know.
We've all been there.
I don't, magically, I've got this microscope. And it goes down to like 2,500 times. Like, you can have a discussion with russet mites.
Right.
I don't have thrips. I don't have any fucking soil bugs. I don't have fungus gnats. I don't have fucking russet mites. Just these fucking certain strain of spider mites.
So, is that a thing?
And they're not destroying my room, right? Like, all of the new growth looks good. The top 3/4 of every plant looks great, but just on these bottom leaves, they just fucking, they got some carne asadas and some grills going.
They're gangster,
and they're just sitting down there having a great fucking time.
Didn't you say?
So then I went through and I stripped out all of the kind of bottom cabbage, right?
Right.
Because I was like, even I'm spraying these, but I guess I'm giving them a place to live. Let me go ahead and skirt this out.
And make the neighborhood nice.
Yeah. Clean up, try to raise property values.
Right.
And
you want a better class of
mites. So they just move into the next neighborhood. They just
it gets gentrified.
Where the fuck are they coming from?
There's something that is constant that we're not noticing.
I spray every 3 days. It doesn't. I could be dumping a jar of them in there every day, and it does. I'm spraying every 3 days. They should die.
That is weird.
Yeah.
What kind of sprayer are you using?
I think
pump sprayer with a micronized head.
It is weird.
Today I was using it though, and the head popped off, and so it was just like a hose of green cleaner coming out. But there's only maybe a cup worth in the left. And I turned to the worst plant I had in the room, and I just fucking hosed it. So I'll check that in a little bit and see what happened. But remember, I went into the room earlier after I had sprayed, maybe 2 hours after, and I grabbed a leaf that was still visibly moist. I flipped it over. There they are, fucking dancing around like little assholes.
Were they dancing or having seizures?
I thought they were.
I don't know, man. So I'll maybe not next week's. We'll be at Indo. Maybe I'll get some magic spray there.
Yeah.
But I will come back to this not next week, but the week after.
Yeah, it's real.
And let you know how my shit's doing. Let you know if I found a combination that works. But Good Lord. Like, how defeated I am right now
I'm
about
gonna
it.
bring my sprayer over, and you should use that instead of your pump sprayer.
Yeah.
It just lays that stuff down better on the leaves and everything.
Anything
So,
at this point.
what do
I've never
people-
had problems like this before. I don't know what's happening. This is a special breed of spider mite. I assume it came from somewhere where somebody's treated them with everything but didn't keep their shit clean. And
they just built up a tolerance?
well, yeah, I guess so.
Stronger, faster.
I don't have a plant in there. It's a bedroom.
Yeah.
And I don't have a plant in there that didn't come from seed that I started here.
Really?
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
So, yeah.
But you have had plants in there that didn't come from seed here.
Months ago. But
Yeah.
yeah. So yeah, if you have the way to get rid of spider mites, you go ahead and you let me know, people. I would invite you over to my house and let you deal with it because I'm
like-
fucking tired of
It's
it.
like The Exorcist. He knocks on the door.
He's got a robe on, goes in there.
Right.
A fog fills the
They're all
room.
demonic.
You hear screaming and it's weird out of anything, you know? Like I've always had a good control on my IPM.
Yeah.
I haven't spoken the word powdery mildew in 3-4 years.
Right.
I make it a point to be extremely clean because I'm working with extremely important genetics
Yeah.
and trying to further my CBD library and help people and so I take it very seriously that like that's just a part of my job is to keep up on that like on the regular
Yeah.
and to be getting my ass kicked like this it's like
It is defeating.
Well, what about predator mites? Let's get the bug lady to get you some bugs.
yeah
bug lady.
well I'm gonna fuck them up with spray for 2 weeks and then as long as like I've got it knocked down to where I'm not seeing noticeable damage and noticeable crawlers I gotta flip.
Oh. Oh,
So-
wow.
At
Right.
that point I put beneficials in there but I don't know.
Yeah.
I don't know.
That's
Bullshit.
amazing, though. And you sure it's not the tobacco mosaic virus?
It's a real thing, man.
It's a
TMV is a
real
real thing.
So aliens.
Those viruses, maybe not specifically tobacco mosaic. I think what happens on these forums and stuff is people get a buzzword
Oh, yeah.
and then everything is that.
Yeah.
It was definitely russet mites for a while. It was just like any problem.
Russet.
It's like obviously their pH is off. Dude, looks like russet mites get a
Right.
scope.
Oh, yeah, yeah.
Like maybe sometimes it was, so I don't want to be like too like fucking idiots, but like everything isn't russet mites or everything isn't tobacco mosaic. And just because you know of that one thing that causes issues that kind of look like that,
Right.
like it ain't that every time. Like
Right, yeah.
chill out.
It's like the guy that yells,
Here.
Ebola!
Pro
On
tip.
everything.
Pro tip. If you don't have these 3 things, get them. A pH meter,
Right.
a ppm meter
Yes.
or EC, and a digital microscope.
Yeah.
You can get a desktop digital microscope that plugs into a USB port or plugs into your phone for under $100.
Yep.
And you can see exactly what you got going on.
Yeah.
It works real good.
Which is amazing, right? That's that easily you can get
They
that.
ain't $2,000 anymore. You know, you
Right.
can get a decent one for cheap.
Yeah.
And the one I have here, let me move my head. It's right next to the rabbit head back there, that white thing.
Yeah.
It's fucking like scientific grade baller
Yeah.
microscope, and I can get in there. My eyes don't work so well through little eye holes because I wear glasses, so I take my glasses off and then I fog up the lenses. It's all bullshit.
Yeah.
But it comes with a little thing you plug into the eyepiece, you plug it into your computer. I got a 32-inch monitor up there,
Right.
and I can see russet mites that look as big as a dog. You know?
Oh, I know. You can
I
check
can
your teeth.
count the 2 spots,
Yeah.
and I'm like, all right, there you are. What was interesting about looking under that, though, is like I could tell the spray was partially effective because there was burn-up eggs and
Yeah.
like dead mites, but then all of a sudden, like homie'd go cruising by.
Right? Unaffected.
He'd be like,
Where were you when I sprayed?
I don't know where he was. Like I treated the whole room.
Yeah.
Like I can't treat the whole room any more than I did. Like cover every square inch with
You've
stuff.
done everything. Yeah. Yeah.
I don't know.
That's amazing. Those are some tough guys.
Yeah, bastards.
Yeah.
I mean, your room's relatively clean too. It's
Yeah.
not like it's a mess in there and hard to.
Nope.
hard to get everything.
And I keep all of my plants cleaned up, so there's not a lot of like excess foliage, and there's never leaves sitting on the ground. Any dirt on the ground anything on the ground that's like a mess gets swept up and dealt with.
Make sure you spray the ground you're spraying.
Yeah, that's what I'm saying. I covered every square inch of that room.
You lift the pots up and set them back down.
Yeah.
I mean, if
Yeah,
they're
no, at this
hiding underneath
point,
the pot there, if they're anywhere, I don't know.
It's scorched earth now.
It is scorched earth.
Take it back. This is your
Next thing I'm
face
doing is I'm going in there with a fucking can of hairspray and a lighter.
on. Right.
I'm just fucking setting everything on fire. Fuck it. There's no... It's like living a life that isn't satisfying, you know? Not living the best life that you can live. When you walk into your room and it looks like that, you're just like... It's defeated, you know? You're fucking defeated. You're like, well, this could be great, but it's not great because I've got this problem. And
What's your life? Yeah.
It's defeating.
And it's off.
Well, what I do here is rec and medical, and I don't make money off of it. It's not my life. Not rec as an OLCC. Rec is in my 4 rec plants. So it's not like this makes or breaks me, right? Like, this is weed for me to smoke and for recreational enjoyment for my friends to give away stuff. Like, I don't make money on this.
Right.
I do, believe it or not, people out there have a real job. I do. I really work. I do things.
Yeah.
I specifically doing advanced hemp genetics and breeding and propagating fields, but really like what we're working on right now. I don't talk about myself and my projects a lot on here, and it's not self-promotion, but
Right.
Are you ready to? Is that what you're
Well,
getting
but
at?
it's like you guys are in the middle of it right now. People should know what you're up to.
yeah, I mean, just breeding hemp genetics that are unique in cannabinoids other than CBD. I already have, and if somebody wants to argue with me, bring it. I have the test results, but I have the highest testing hemp CBD that there's laboratory proof of.
Wow.
And so I felt like I got that done, and then I kind of went into putting unique terpenes into hemp. So there's a lot of like cherry hemp out there.
I was gonna say it's not just cherry.
No, I don't have really any cherry. Skunk, like lots. I really started my flavonoid work, so lots of skunks and diesels, burning rubbers, and things like that. And then a lot of purple varieties of hemp that are indica dominant hemps finish a bit quicker. Doing work with autoflowers and ruderalis, some Siberian ruderalis and stuff like that.
Wow.
But that's more on the CBD side, and then working unique cannabinoids into dominants that aren't CBD, so you can have a CBC harvest. CBC is the one that I'm really kind of getting maxed out right now. And
Wow.
so I do have a real job. I do real things under truly licensed facilities that aren't my garage. So
I thought you were like just a grifter.
Yeah. Right. When I sit here and bitch about my grow at home, please don't feel bad for me. It's a fucking hobby grow.
I'm already dead.
Don't worry about it.
I feel bad because I know there's baller genetics in there.
Yeah.
Nobody has.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Like, that might just go away if it gets under
I
control.
do have some wacky fucking genetics. I have a 2-to-1, which is kind of the ballpark I like to be in, right? 3-to-1, 2-to-1, 1-to-1s even matter. But that's like the kind of weed I like to smoke. And I've got this Blue City Diesel project that I worked on with my friend Lucas, and popped a bunch of seeds of it. Only kept one.
One seed,
Yeah,
not one pheno.
one pheno.
Well, okay.
Yeah, I kept one pheno out of maybe 30 seeds.
Wow.
It is Blue City Diesel. It smells like it. It is purple as fuck. And it's got that crazy BCD smell, like overpowering.
Wow.
But it's 2-to-1.
2-to-1.
It's fantastic.
That is.
And nobody has it except for me. And it's awesome. I got lots of shit like that. And when people are talking about like doing pheno hunts on their genetics and stuff, and like, I popped 10 seeds and I picked this, sometimes you roll the dice and you get fucking lucky. Like Mike Smith said, or Mike Calley said, popped 3 seeds or
Five.
whatever, 5 seeds
5
of the
seeds and
Doctor
got the
Who and
massive
found
cut.
the alpha pheno. Like, it can happen.
And
But
on
like,
such a great strain too. It's like
I'm
crazy.
working on the Who's Frank, and the Who's Frank is the Doctor Who Haichu cut
Yeah.
that was given to me by Odie so we could do a project together, kind of the Legends of CBD line projects.
Nice.
And I crossed it to one of my males, kind of what I call my magic mail.
Also says in the Magic Mike here.
It's just called the magic mail.
Yeah.
He's only got a number. He doesn't have a name. It's like, you ever watch Futurama
Yeah, well, yeah.
and Snoo
Yeah.
in the cave? Yeah, he's my Snoo mail.
Oh, is he?
Yeah, he just
comes in and smashes anything that's dropped off.
And
That's hilarious.
I did 110 of those to find one that I'm even kind of okay with.
Wow.
So, I mean, 100's the bare minimum.
Easy,
But for
yeah.
me, with what I'm working with and the space that I'm working with, for me to cycle through that many plants to find the right one, it's so fucking time consuming, dude.
Yeah. And
So,
then
like-
crap like that happens.
Yeah, and then
Yeah.
now let's say after these months and months of work I've put into selecting this one female that I'm ready to breed back and work with, and
Right.
she's also a true triploid.
Oh,
Yeah.
can you
Which
explain that for people?
what do you mean?
Oh, never
Like
mind.
what a triploid is?
Yeah.
Well, there's different ways, like. So I'm just gonna say it as big. There's
Yeah, yeah.
different versions of triploids,
Okay.
and like what's a true triploid versus. Anyways, a triploid is instead of having 2 shoots, 2 shoots, 2 shoots, it's 3 shoots, 3 shoots,
Right.
3 shoots. So it's got extra nodes.
Right.
But yeah, if that plant dies from spider mite fucking activity,
Yeah.
I lose months and months and months of work just trying to keep this one stupid plant alive.
Mm-hmm.
Or like that BCD one, like for me to go through and find one that has that exact BCD fucking terpene profile again
Yeah.
at a good ratio, like who knows when I
Yeah.
find that one again. So whatever.
So,
yeah.
People don't get that work, and people don't do that work. What it
Well, I mean,
takes.
you can cross some polyhybrid you buy from X seed bank to some polyhybrid you buy from another seed bank
Right.
and cross it together and make a genetic, and you may be making fire. Like, don't get me wrong,
I know.
I love polyhybrid F1s. I think they're great. I enjoy growing them. I like the fire. Like, it's good.
Mm-hmm.
But when you're really trying to pick a specific genetic for a certain reason from work that you're doing, it's not just, ooh, I grew 5 seeds, this one's the best, so I'm going to say this one's my fucking alpha cut and, like, brag about it, you know?
Right.
Like, when you're not just shooting for a high THC strain that you don't really care, you just want it to look good.
Yeah.
Like, that's not that hard. When you're really looking for specific terpenes, flavonoids, and ratios for specific reasons, it's a bit more of a hunt, you know, because you're
yeah.
trying to hit all of these categories.
And then to get them to merge.
So it takes laboratory testing. It
Yeah.
takes, you know, visual representations. Like, even if I did find, because I did find some other of the BCDs that I liked that had profiles that I liked, but they didn't have growth structures that I liked. They didn't have flowering times that I
It was
liked.
missing something.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And if something's missing something, then that's not what I'm looking for. Now, that being said, and an argument I've had with people, well, I want that, you know, F3 or F4. I want the lockdown representation of the fire. I don't want those seeds.
You don't want an R1?
I want seeds that I can go hunt through and pick out the phenotypical expression that I want.
Right.
Because I don't always agree with the breeder on what they want. So I've gotten some F1 seeds of a certain cross, let's say. I don't want to call out names, so we won't.
Right.
And found a plant that was just like
Perfect or
rad. Exactly what I want.
right.
Now I went back and I had lost said plant and I got their F4 version, which is like the lockdown version of the awesome pheno. It grew it out and it was nothing like the one I had chosen, and I didn't like it. So I like F1s better. It is a bit more of a investment because you are buying more seeds to try and find that one that you love.
Yeah.
But yeah.
Well,
like-
I would like you to explain this because I get asked this and I don't have as good of an answer. So in a situation like this where you're battling russets, or say you think you got a virus and it is your magic plant, and it's just been hammered. Like we were talking about, it's like the plant has diabetes and congestive heart failure. It's got all these problems. We had talked about, because there's a lot of, another buzzword is tissue culture.
Mm-hmm.
How, for people, like, how real is that? I mean, I know it works, but I mean, when do you pull that gun out? Because it isn't as much as people think. People think that you're just...
Are you going on monstergardens.com and buying their tissue culture kit and doing it at home? Or are you working with an actual, somebody that does this for a living with a PhD?
Yes, sir, the first.
Huh?
The first one, sir. No.
Then good luck, like...
Yeah.
How clean are you? Are you treating your cuts properly to destroy any? There's a line, right? And it's a very fine line when you take that cut and you tissue culture it between completely destroying it with your sanitation and sanitizing everything out of it. But you're working with very harsh things like bleach level fucking cleaning
So they
of these
bleach the
cuts.
tissue, trying to kill out and still pull out life to save.
I will get Dr. Jones on here, Dr.
Wow.
Hope Jones, who's
Wow.
fucking amazing, and she's a buddy of mine. We were actually texting a bunch last night.
She's awesome.
She is awesome. Yeah, I like her a lot.
And can you tell people what she does?
She is a plant tissue culture specialist.
That's what-
It's what she does.
Wow.
She does a lot of, she'll come into your garden and tell you what virus you have.
Right.
A lot of times people see things like variegation or weird growth patterns, and you put it on the internet, and people are going to be like, your pH is off.
Right.
You have
Tobacco
russet
mosaic
mites.
virus.
Right. She'll actually come in and tell you exactly what you have and how to fix it.
You got to follow her, too. Like, that's...
She's legit.
Yeah.
And so I'm working on some projects with her. I only work on projects with people I love and
So
respect.
she can reach into all of that and pull out what you need and save it.
Mhm.
Even through all the death and the...
So I've still got the original Frank's Gift V1 original mama.
Wow.
And she does have the diabetes and congestive heart failure, and she's been traveled around and beat up and
yeah.
isn't a happy plant.
So it's not like we talked about once, a genetic drift. Like, it's more likely that people are experiencing
genetic
this.
drift isn't a thing.
Yeah.
Um,
It's multiple problems
right.
over a long
Just getting
life.
sick and sick and sick.
Yeah. And you're passing that on.
Always.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And people don't get that. At some point, you've got to just stop it.
You gotta start it over.
Yeah.
And this is
And this
one
lady,
way
this is
to
the-
reset it and start it over and return it to its original vigor.
On the back end, how do they do that?
What?
Well, if you put a disease culture in, you're eventually going to try to resurrect it. How do they get it back to good health? Is it just repeatedly regrowing it?
No, you just gotta do it once.
Really?
Yeah.
Okay. Because on my monster kit, there is no back end.
Was it the new cells aren't going to have that
Is that...
that disease? Will the old cells have the disease quickly, or the old cells break down quicker and have the disease?
Yeah, I'm not gonna sound like an asshole by answering any of these questions because I will give my interpretation of how I think it works.
Because you got to pay.
And
Bitch,
we should just wait for Hope.
Yeah.
Pay.
We should just wait for Hope.
We'll wait for Hope.
Just stop this.
She'll explain
selling
it
like
properly.
idiots, probably.
But she does promise me that she can return my original Frank's Gift to its original vigor and
awesome.
like it was from seed.
Wow. That
And
seems
for
like
me,
magic.
that's huge.
Yeah.
Because even though that plant isn't the best representation of CBD ratio genetics I have, it's a legend of a plant, and it needs to be preserved,
Yeah.
and it needs to be continued and grown, and
You need it.
it's Frank's, so it means a lot to me.
Yeah.
So yeah,
It's definitely a passion project, right?
yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, I ain't trying to go out and...
It's the-
obviously, when I'm synonymous with Frank's Gift, right?
Yeah.
Like, that's my shit. But, like, I don't know. I don't like it. Like, people are going to be like, it does serve a very medicinal purpose.
Yeah.
It's a great plant. But I have other stuff that I like better personally for me. But a lot of people, Frank's Gift is what works best for them. And
Right.
so I don't want to just, like, the representations of my genetics that exist in this state that I see test results on, half of the time I question if it's even mine at all.
I know.
Yeah, like, I
No.
saw some Lucy's Lion the other week.
Yeah.
That was not Lucy's Lion. It was just terrible.
Yeah.
It's genetic drift, bro.
They're calling it Lucy's Line. No.
Genetic drift.
When it's a 1-to-1 at like 6% total, like I can't
Yeah.
believe that that's a Lucy's Lion. 'Cause Lucy's Lion is clone only. I never put out seeds of that genetic. It's clone only, so it's not like they got some weird fucking wacky
You
seed of
did
it.
put out a lot of clones of it, so it's possible that someone has it.
Oh yeah, absolutely, it exists. It still exists a lot of places. It's one of those high CBD genetics that is widely available.
Yeah.
But it is always over 16% CBD, testing as high as 25, 26% CBD. It's always 1% or lower THC. So to see a representation that's 3% THC and 3% CBD, like it's just not possible.
No, they throttled it.
Oh yeah.
Yeah.
Gave it some
When
electrolytes.
I saw that on the list in the dispensary, I was like, oh, I want to see that. And then I realized the test score was, it was like, no. And then I smelled it and looked at it, and I was like, no, not at all is what that Lucy Lion.
I love seeing that, though.
And the bunt-tender had no idea what Lucy's Lion was. And he was
Right.
like, oh, we just got this in. We're so psyched to have CBD flower.
Yeah.
And I was like, yeah. You'd be psyched if it was the real Lucy's Lion.
Yeah.
Yeah, it's good. It's not the best thing we have, but that's also a thing, right? Being a breeder and doing what it is that we do, and you never show your hand. You never
It's
give.
just like the hot pepper guy.
Yeah,
He's always got one in the stable that's hotter.
I have lots in the stable that's
Right,
better.
right.
And I never give out the best genetics because there is no protection for me
No.
once those do get out. So people can have representations of things that are fucking great.
Right.
But to give out the best is
Why would you?
well,
No, I meant you're gonna
because I want
because there's
people
no
to have
protection.
it.
No, I meant
You
but there's
know,
no
but I put it out there, and then how many seed companies do other seed companies start? That's how they start,
Right,
right? So somebody
right.
comes and gets my seed and renames it fucking Bunnyhead Kush, and
Yeah.
this was bred by me, and all
like
they did
Copy
was
Farms. Yeah.
yeah, like so there's value in those genetics, especially the ones that I'm working with now in an agricultural hemp market.
Oh yeah.
And for me to be successful in life and to be able to retire at some point
Huh?
and live a life worth living, I have to save something for myself. And people don't understand how much those genetics cost or what they're worth,
I
you know?
I know.
You can go out and buy $10 seeds all day, and that's great. But when you're talking about getting a unique genetic for yourself, bred by somebody like me for your farm, you're the only one that has it. It's super unique, super high profile, resistant to bugs, resistant to molds, bred for your fucking terroir, you know, like
Right.
specific for you. That's not a $10 seed anymore, you
No.
know. And I don't want to talk numbers because I don't want to sound like an
No.
asshole, but it takes a lot of time. It's a year project to even get into, and it's expensive.
Yeah.
And farms really aren't willing to put that kind of dedication into their work, so they start their own breeding facilities at their farms. And I've seen a lot of this too. And they take, well, I got DJ Short's Blueberry, and I crossed it to OG, and I got, you know,
DJ Blueberry OG.
right.
Right.
This is our unique, and you look at it and you're like, that looks aight, you know, but like that's their thing. There was no expert breeder going in there working on it, going through phenotypes, looking for expressions, laboratory
They found a
testing.
male or
Oh,
flipped the
labs.
female.
What are you talking about, labs? That just slows down
Yeah.
the process.
Yeah. So
We
there's a
don't have
lot
time.
more to breeding unique, specialized genetics for.
Well,
It's market. Like
Yeah.
you need to know your market. Would I go to a farm in California and do a breeding project for them? And it's going to differ between what part of the state you're in. But would I go into their market and try to give them what works in Oregon down there? No. There's not
Right.
enough OG and cookies in it, bro. Like, you know what I'm saying? Like, in Oregon, like it's different where you
Yeah.
go. The market is different, what
Yeah.
people are looking for. And when you're breeding unique cannabinoids or CBD and stuff like that, it's the cat's out of the bag. Like, people have
yeah.
an idea how to breed those genetics now. But to be able to breed them as widely and varied as you want and really hone in, target, pick exactly, you know, you sit down with one of these farmers and you say, give me a wish list of what you want your strain to be.
Right.
You know, what terpenes do you want to know? What flavonoids do you want to know? What kind of flowering time do you want? Like, and you go down the list and you have them pick all the, what kind of ratio do you want? What are you looking
Right.
for? I can dial that in and I can make you that strain.
Right.
Like, you're not going to find that strain by pollen chucking, growing out one seed and being like, but a lot of people will do that, and that one seed that they grow and come out, they're going to be like, that's exactly what I was looking for. Why?
Well,
Because
yeah.
it's easy.
Yeah. Ray and I went to a farm where they wanted him to breed an exclusive strain for them.
Mm-hmm.
And he sat down and laid out, like you said, here's some examples. What do you want to do? We can do anything. And then when it came, this was the amazing part, when it came time to talk about money, right? And you know Ray's not greedy. You were not driving gold Hummers, right? We didn't roll up there in the Benz. Like, I watched this man, and his farm was on the brink. Like, he needed this. And he chose to do the latter. He chose to keep pollen chucking and hoping for the best, like that whole, I'm going to do it myself. And they're gone. And I thought, if you had just given the man the meager money per seed to have it on lock, you know what I mean? It seems like a lot, but it's not.
I don't know, your car's breaking down, and you're not a mechanic. You have
Right.
no idea what you're doing. And you take it into a mechanic, and they say it's going to cost this much to
You need
fix. And
heads.
you go,
Yeah.
I'm going to go ahead and do it by myself.
I got some Flex Seal.
That's a good way to look at it.
There's, but also think of it like there's a lot of people that work on their car in their driveway and can get basic stuff done.
Sure.
So that's, I used to
But
love that, yeah.
there is a different level between that guy and the guy that you go into his shop that's all decked out, and this is what he does every day of his
Right.
life.
Right. And when
So
you do
breeding
it,
at home and doing that kind of thing, you can get results and you can make something. But if you want it done right, you go to somebody that is their full-time job and that's all they do.
how many times have you been in a parking lot and seen a Honda where they've tried to pull their dents and it's just a series of drill holes?
Bubbles.
Or like Bondo's put on there like cake frosting and you can still see the lines in it. And
So I used to have a car that was, I used to just say it was primarily Bondo. The frame was made of
was it
Bondo.
the Adobe?
It was my 1958 Volvo,
Oh, beautiful car.
and
Bulletproof.
it was nice.
Yeah,
It was
they're
real
bulletproof.
nice.
I went through a cornfield one.
I had a 444 in it.
Whoa.
Mm-hmm.
Whoa.
It was nice.
Wow.
But
Because normally I say that's a great choice in birth control.
440. What's a 444?
444 Volvo, it came out of their coupes that were
Yeah.
Jeez.
It's a
put
beautiful-
out maybe, 10 years after, 60s, early 70s, had 444s in the coupes.
Mhm.
So we ripped it out of one of those and
Yeah,
dropped it into
72.
the 58.
72.
That thing was fast as fuck.
Yeah.
And it made a real good noise when it drove. But like all of the body panels, there was Bondo on every part of that
Beautiful.
car. Like,
So the car actually weighed more than it did stock.
well, they had the, like the drip channels, and then it would go down through the door, and it
Yep.
had like the little drain on the bottom of the
little
door where the
hole.
water would drip out.
Mhm, wick out.
Well, yeah, when it starts to rust in there, and that rust
Oh, it's
plugs
over.
up that hole.
Yeah.
Like, so those doors were fucked, and I
Yeah.
couldn't find doors that weren't fucked because we live in the Pacific Northwest, and it's
Every
just,
door is fucked.
it's just moisture everywhere.
Yeah.
So I don't know how we got onto my first.
I
car.
don't know. Your first car, that's awesome.
Yeah, it was a good car.
Yeah.
I was
No,
supposed
it-
to learn how to fix a car and how it worked before I could drive. So
It's actually a
it
good
was
That's what
car.
I did.
It was one of those situations.
Mine was a 77 Nova that I completely
Oh.
took apart and learned how to fix and do.
Yeah.
And then I took it to a junkyard and bought another car.
But does that make me a mechanic and able
No.
to fix a car?
But
No.
you probably understand
Hell
fuel
no.
injection now.
Not really.
Oh, man.
No.
So easy on that car, too.
There wasn't much to it.
Yeah, it's a beautiful car.
But if you're looking for a specialist to do a specialty project, so
Right.
if you want that fucking hot rod, best in show, win awards kind of fucking car, or
Yeah.
kind of fucking genetic, you go to the guy that does that. The
Right.
guy that's already has a proven track record. You don't just grab your dice, roll it, and hope that you're gonna hit fucking sixes over
Or you're going
and
to buy
over
the
and
seeds
over
off
again.
Facebook and hit it.
There's a lot of Facebook seed groups.
Oh my
And
God.
what I'm going to say about Facebook seed groups, if you don't mind gambling,
It's a gamble.
there's some great shit.
Oh no, you can hustle some great. Yeah, you got some great.
I
finds.
pulled some great stuff
Yeah.
off of Facebook
Yeah.
seed groups. Only locally. I don't do the mail thing at all.
No, of course not.
But locally, I've gotten some killer shit. What I don't like about it is I never buy seeds from established breeders that have been crossed
With nothing.
into their own thing.
Yeah.
Like,
So
not naming names, but there's
Oh.
somebody that got Mickey Kush seeds.
yeah.
And then they took that and they made their own Mickey Kush seeds.
Well,
What a
yeah.
And then they started giving them away to people.
Well, they're a breeder.
guess it's fucking that's poor fucking sportsmanship.
Oh,
They just
totally.
took Odie's Mickey Kush and selfed it and made Mickey Kush.
Yeah.
They didn't even self it. They just got a female and a male out of
Yeah.
the pack and they just bred it together and started.
And
So
the-
you're taking food out of that man's mouth.
I
What
know.
a fucking asshole.
Yeah. So
Yeah.
shit like that happens. I will not deal with people that do that. There's also a seed bank out there that takes other people's genetics and does exactly that for that purpose.
Yep.
They cross and make seeds of somebody else's stuff and then they sell it for cheaper.
Like 30 a pack or.
And their thing is, well, fuck those breeders because
Yeah.
they make. If anybody thinks that cannabis breeders are making too much money, you're not paying fucking attention because we don't make shit.
yeah.
Yeah.
Like,
Yeah.
It's amazing.
yeah. And so fuck those people. So I never help those people out. But like, you know, homie had UW seeds that he selfed. Like, where the fuck are you gonna find UW? Like, it doesn't exist. Like, it's hard to find. It's not impossible to find, but it's difficult. And this guy's got self seeds of it. Easy. I'll buy a pack of that and put it on the shelf. I'll fuck with it later. Like,
Right.
shit like that. So there are little gems in the rough you can find on the Facebook groups.
Yeah.
I
So-
did have a lady on the Facebook groups though. Sweetest lady. I don't ship seeds. I don't sell seeds.
Oh, her,
It's not
yeah.
what I do. So
Yeah.
I don't. People ask me for genetics, and I feel terrible because unless you're my neighbor and I can just hand them to you for free,
Yeah.
you don't get my stuff. It doesn't get shipped, and I don't sell it. And it's just not like that with me right now.
What's your favorite seed group?
Well, let me tell this story
Oh.
real quick because this is what will happen to you on Facebook seed groups. And so she sees that some guy in fucking Colorado selling Frank's gift seeds, and she wants my genetics so bad. And her and I have talked a lot of times, and she's super sweet.
Yeah.
And so she saw this, didn't ask me, just saw some guy was selling Frank's gift seeds, so she bought them. And
And they have to be shipped to her.
yeah.
Because of her geographic location.
Right.
Yeah, you can't.
And
yeah.
so I'm kind of excited for her. I'm like, well,
Yeah,
I
you
hope
sound-
somebody got
yeah.
a hold of the Frank's gift, selfed it, and she's going to get what she needs.
She needs it.
And so she grows it out, spends all the time on it, goes out and gets it tested, 18% THC, no CBD. So
God.
not my genetic at all. Showed me pictures of it. I was like, I've
You
never
didn't-
seen a plant
yeah.
that looks like. I have no idea what that is. She's like, well, so-and-so from Colorado got it for me and said that came directly from you. And so I go to look up this guy on Facebook. We ain't Facebook friends. We have no people in common
Yeah.
as Facebook friends.
Yeah.
And I'm like, there is no way that that guy has my genetic and is making seeds. It's just not possible. And I was like, you got ripped off. You went in there and you were looking for a genetic. Some
Right.
guy's like, yeah, of course I have that, and just sent you
Threw
whatever.
some seeds in the box.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So watch yourself on those kind of things. What was your question?
What's your favorite Facebook seed group? I have mine.
I don't know that.
I like watching the Bodie Appreciation Society, and I like watching the Michael Cowley, not Geek Mike, East Coast Mike Cowley. He has a Sharpie marker collectors
Sharpie?
group.
Yeah,
Yeah. And,
that's a good one.
It is. You see a lot of really cool stuff fly through there.
I like the fishing bait group.
Yes, another good group.
That's the one I like.
And then my other favorite thing is Seed Bank Villains. Have you noticed on Facebook that there's always like someone's calling someone out?
Oh, yeah.
And there's some notorious people, like
Yeah.
some really notorious people who, one guy I'm thinking of got caught. You know how Facebook will just lynch you. They brought up, the guy bought some pollen from a collector who's very famous, been on TV for his collection, like Apocalypse TV, because he has vegetable weird stuff too. And like he sent pollen to this guy, and when he got it, it didn't work. And when he tasted it, it was chicken top ramen, the powder.
That's awesome.
So was the guy... Sometimes you can use, like, toasted grain or
Right.
cornmeal or something to dilute
Yeah.
your pollen a
Your
little
pollen,
bit
or
so
make
it's
it
not too...
clumpy.
Yeah, and so it spreads easier and you don't overuse it.
Like a vehicle.
So maybe he mixed it with fucking top ramen powder. Maybe that was his jam.
Yeah.
Chicken bouillon.
Gross.
Yeah. Well, that guy lives under anti-radiation tarps that he's strewn over his house in the desert.
That's awesome.
You're behind, bro.
I mean, I'm
Do you-
all right with that.
He's
I'm
a
down.
nut. But he's constantly coming up as ripping people off.
Yeah, a lot of people rip people off on Facebook. A lot of people rip a lot of people off in general.
Yeah.
And they're going to ride the buzzwords and they're going to do
Yep.
whatever they need to do to
that's
make a
gonna-
buck. And
Back to the expo. That's going to be interesting this week because, like, I love seeing everybody from around the country. You only get to see once a year, or, you know.
and then all the dick riders.
Oh, yeah.
show
Like,
up.
every other booth is like, check out my adjustable plastic scrog net. Like, oh my God, how did I not live with that piece of crap? Or some new extraction hoax. I'm not going to name names, but I can't wait to see that guy.
It is. There is room in the industry for people with innovation,
Yeah.
good morals, and work their way in humbly to get into the circles of maybe like the upper echelon of people in this industry where you actually get the respect of the people that I would consider like the old guard of the cannabis industry.
Right.
98% of those people are not that. They
No.
are dick riders who have money and they see this as an they don't even really care about their product, you know?
No.
Like it's just like this is a product I can make. I mean, fuck me. I start my own fucking nutrient line, right? Like
Right.
there's people that really care about the nutrients they're putting out and
yeah.
and what they do to plants and like how it works, and they want to work with you and they want to talk about the science, and then there's just like, you know, if you go to a fucking nutrient booth and they got some dude dressed up in a costume and girls with their tits hanging out, like
Yeah.
maybe that's not the best nutrient choice. Maybe they're
Why not?
trying because maybe they're trying to sell you using different methodologies than the actual efficiency or effectiveness of
Maybe
their...
I like that methodology.
That's fine. You can use whatever you want, man. I'm just saying, if you're trying to get respect in this industry as somebody doing it right, you know, there are people, if like you have a dispensary and all of your bud tenders are attractive young people, let's say, it's smart to certain people. They don't know anything. Like, they're not educated as a bud tender. They don't understand what they're talking about. So their attractiveness does nothing for me.
Right.
You know, if you're so desperate that walking into a store and looking at attractive people is what's going to sell you product, then I guess they're marketing correctly.
It's proven fact, sex sells. That's the only reason why I say it's
But you're
smart.
never going to get respect doing it that way. Nobody's ever going to respect your methodology. Like,
Right.
Yeah, but the people that are doing that don't care about that. I
no,
understand
that's
where
what
you're
I'm
getting
saying.
at.
Then
I
they
get
get
it.
no respect in this industry.
But they're making
It's
just
like-
as much money as people that do care.
Sure, that's fine. I'm not talking about who's making the money at this point. I'm talking about
Respect.
in the
Repeatable
industry.
Respect. Yeah.
And
He's not going to get it.
no, you don't get it that way. And always when you go to these kind of conferences and look at the booths, you can... This booth won't be here next year.
Right.
This booth won't be here next
Right,
year.
right.
Oh, what's up, bro? It's like,
Right.
I've seen you 3 years in a row, and we know each other by name.
Yeah.
And
I'm never going to buy your product.
But like, still, they work in a way that you know who they are. They're kind. They're knowledgeable.
Yeah.
They are willing to help direct you into what you need in their product line or what they're doing. And they're trying to be a respectful, like, known member of, like, the upper echelon community of cannabis.
Yeah.
And, like, nothing but mad respect to those people. Even if it's a
Yeah.
product I don't use, good for them.
Right.
But, I don't know.
There's some trim.
The last conference I went to, let me tell you, I got a Dynagrow hat and a Dynagrow t-shirt. And, like, who's really out there using Dynagrow?
Come on, Dynatech. What? What?
And I was just like, God, I mean, I've used Dynagrow years
Sure.
and years ago,
Sure.
right? Like, I was so stoked to get a Dynagrow hat and T-shirt. Why?
Yeah.
Because it was just like
It's-
fucking vintage badass.
I was gonna say, yeah, it's heritage. It's like, yeah, it's part of your makeup. Like, yeah, I went through that. They are cool.
So-
Someone's got to be using it for them to still be around.
People use their fucking root dip. And
They're Protect.
yeah, they're Protect. There's parts of their line that people use.
By
By the way, Dynagrow, you never sent me my box. Send it to me. I will try your shit.
Box.
I'll do it. Yeah, they're gonna send me their whole line, their whole nutrient line to try.
no palette.
I don't know that I want a pallet.
Yeah.
I just want the sample box for one plant. It'll be a seed plant. In
Yeah. Run it. Is that a CBD Blue
happens.
Dream?
Jim's gift.
Yeah, Jim's gift. All the work and none of the reward.
I will have CBD. I already have.
That would be perfect for my life.
I will have CBD Blue Dream.
I think I
Really?
saw that on something the other day.
Somebody.
A CBD Blue Dream.
Son
Good
of a
God.
bitch.
Good God.
I got beat. Got beat to the punch.
Yeah, I think I saw that already. I
Good.
remember looking at it like, oh, that's what Adam wanted to do.
Want is a strong word.
Well,
It's like
all right, that's what Jim wanted Adam to do.
Yeah, that's my.
it's like a meme, right? It's really memey.
Someone
of
beat
me.
you to it. Yeah, I hate that. I'm
Oh,
working on it.
I'll
I'm
still
working
do it
on
anyways because mine will be
they
better.
probably used
but
Frank's gift to do it, too.
probably.
Yeah. Wow.
Well, I don't want to drag this on too long. We will be at Indo next week. We will be doing live interviews, and we will be recording it for some short form interviews. Pretty excited about that. Hoping to see Adam Dunn and
Yep.
Mario and Jeff
Mario.
Lowenfels and James Bean will be there.
Mhm.
So
Adam done doing his show from there?
He's the
they're doing it at
MC.
Geek Farms, aren't they?
Yeah, they're gonna go out to Geek Farms.
Oh,
Yeah.
on Friday.
Yeah.
I
So we'll
don't know.
snag a bunch of people that are coming through. I'm sure there'll be other people there that we'll be surprised to see.
Yeah, and if you're there, hit us up.
Jaeger's dad, what's his name? Anyways, a couple of people in the CBD scene are going to be there that I would like to talk
They're doing
to.
a lot of hemp this year,
Yeah, there's a lot of hemp specialists there this year.
and it is deep.
It's quite the lineup of
Yes.
people that you can't Google and bought a booth so they get to speak. It's a pretty deep scene, man.
Yeah, my computer locked up when I googled some of them.
Yeah.
It's that deep.
I ain't judging these people. Maybe they're up and coming or doing something, but it's just the CBD buzzword bandwagon.
Right.
And if I wasn't so deep into CBD, like, I don't know, say what you will about me, but I'm fucking OG CBD.
Yep.
Like,
Oh yeah.
there ain't another me. CBD is a fucking buzzword that is getting shoved down people's throats, and people won't shut the fuck up about it.
Yep.
And it makes people like me look like an asshole because it's like,
Yep.
oh, another CBD dick. Like,
Here he comes.
Yep.
right. And
Yeah,
so
out
all
there
these
with his
people are
plants.
just, oh, I'm a CBD expert because you fucking grew a CBD. Like, fuck you.
Let alone the whole industry of like
I'm-
lotions and
I'm irritated about it because, like, everybody's a CBD expert now. When I
Yeah.
was working on CBD, nobody fucking wanted it because it didn't get you high.
yep.
So,
I remember.
I have friends on Facebook from back east that are CBD experts now just because they are selling it like Tupperware.
yeah.
And it's like, you're an expert. Oh, it's a cure-all of everything that they constantly post in articles that are just bullshit articles. And look at this, it does this for this and this for that. Everybody should use it. Well, it's like you have no idea what you're doing. And you're selling Chinese industrial hemp.
Yeah.
And, yeah.
Like, that's all you're doing.
Yeah. So, anyways, there's going to be hemp experts there.
Maybe we can learn.
Maybe I can learn
Maybe.
something.
I mean, I can fill in some of those holes I have in my.
Maybe I can
Oh.
find some CBD isolate that'll cure all of my problems.
Yeah. With the mango terp.
To everybody out there, I do love CBD. CBD is fantastic. It has a lot of great uses and medical benefits when used in conjunction with other things, other cannabinoids, terpenes, flavonoids, different treatment cycles, individualized cannabinoid therapies. If somebody's ever just trying to sell you a bottle of CBD oil mixed into something and they don't have any other education other than it's CBD in an oil, fuck that person and talk to somebody that knows what they're talking about.
Yep.
Also, if you're going to go out and buy CBD genetics from somebody, just ask for a roadmap. How did you breed this? What strains did you use? Where did it come from? What kind of terpenes, flavonoids, and cannabinoids am I going to be looking at in this strain? And when they
Do you
can't,
have any test results
and
I
if they can
see?
answer those questions, yeah, test results. Can I see some third-party lab analysis? If they can provide that information to you, then you're probably dealing with somebody who's legit and deserves their business. If they can't, then it's somebody trying to take advantage of you to make money. And CBD is a fucking buzzword getting shoved down everybody's throat. So deal with it. Like, that's just the fucking way it is.
So you're saying don't buy it at the gas station?
No.
Not necessarily true, though.
I know. I've seen some.
Sequential,
Yeah.
over by Chris's house,
Yeah.
has 3 versions of CBD oil on their shelf. I'm not going to name names, but one of them is legit and people that I like and a product that I think is good. 2 of them are fucking snake oil. So it does exist. I'm just going to go through and put all my shit in fucking corner stores. Why
True.
not? That's what
Yes.
assholes do anyways.
Wow.
It's legal. I can.
Yeah.
I'm about to eat a CBD edible. But it's 50-50.
Oh, yeah? Oh, your
So-
Grand Bar. Yeah, yeah.
God.
No, it's something else. But I tell you what, I've been eating 50-50 or 1-to-1, 50 of each every day for the past couple weeks. And I fucking love it.
Yeah, it's good.
They work together so amazing. You just-
That's why in the rec side now, I'm really kind of focusing on the ratio genetics.
Yeah.
Because it's good. It's a good effect. It's not. It's good. Like, it's great actually. So we'll have some more of that coming out soon. That's I talked about one project I was working on. That's enough, right? I don't have to talk about the other 3 or 4 projects happening.
No,
The time will come.
they're not ready.
You're not
They're
ready.
not ready.
Yeah, we're an hour in.
Yep.
We'll see you at Endo. I'm gonna call it. I do actually have a pork loin on the smoker, and it's probably about
yeah,
done.
it's pork time.
Yeah.
Nice.
All right. So thanks everyone,
Thank you.
and we will catch you next week.
Later.
Bye-bye.